Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the 10,000 subscriber question and answer celebration video thing. Was planning to do like a highlights video of my favorite moments from the channel as a celebration there. I remember that's like hundreds of hours of footage I'd have to go through, and I was like, you know what? Ain't nobody got time for that shit. That really would take hundreds upon hundreds of hours. So yeah, this is what we're doing. Had an overwhelming response. There's questions on Twitter, there's tons of them on the actual video that I made. So yeah, let's just jump into this. First question is from Eric Lopez. He says, have you ever played Fallout New Vegas? If not, can you please do a blind playthrough? Yes, I have. I think I actually completed New Vegas 3, maybe 4 times. I also played a lot of quest mods, like a lot of them. And I did want to do a New Vegas playthrough. I mean, I still kind of do. But the reason I haven't is because it crashes so much. I mean, I remember when I played the game before using mods, still crashed like hell. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's very unstable. I tended to lose, save data, and if I'm recording, sometimes the crashing corrupts the footage, as you may know, because I have lost footage like that in the past. So, yeah, long story short, I'm not planning to do one, because, I've played it to death. I love that game, though, but yeah, it's just too crashy. It's too damned unstable. If someday I manage to mod it and not have it crash all the damn time, then yeah, maybe I'll do that. But let's just hope Fallout 4 actually comes out within, a reasonable length of time, because holy shit, it's been a long time coming. It's no doubt going to come eventually, but good God, I don't know what the hell Bethesda are doing. Okay, anyway, next question is from Dawn Orthen? I don't know. I should probably forewarn you, I'm probably going to butcher 90% of the names here. You know me, I suck at pronouncing shits. Okay, so the question is, what are your thoughts on potential meetups? What's your day job? Do you have college schooling / specialized training? Thoughts on meetups? I guess you mean like going to GDC or E3 or something and be like, hey, I'm going there, do you want to meet me? Well, I've never actually been to a gaming convention, so I'm not opposed to it, but it's one of those things that costs a lot of money, a lot of time, and I'm lazy, and I've mentioned before, I don't like people. I mean, I don't hate people, don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm some kind of antisocial bastard who never goes outside, but people in general, I'm not fans of them. So yeah, like, crowds of people don't really do anything for me, but I'm not opposed to it. So yeah, maybe if the channel gets big enough where me saying that I'm gonna go somewhere and meet people actually has a point to it, don't get me wrong, I'm sure if I did say that, there would be a couple of people that showed up to meet me, and that would be very cool. And like I say, but like, going to all of that trouble to meet like 2 people seems like a little bit over the top, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm not opposed to it. Okay, so what's your day job? Okay, let's get this out of the way, because a lot of people keep asking this. What I basically do is, whenever people ask me this, I've said before, I move shit for a living. Quite literally, like, I work in a warehouse, I move shit around. It's like, so it gets delivered to different places. It's like the most boring job on earth. That's why I don't mention it. It's boring, I don't like it, I only do it part-time, because good God, I could not imagine working there full-time. That would suck. I mean, I work there with a bunch of people that do work there full-time, and all they ever do, don't get me wrong, I don't blame them, but all they ever do is complain about the job, how much they hate it, how much, how hard it is. So yeah, 2 days a week is plenty for me. I have no intention of doing that job full-time. I would rather quit, I really would. So yeah, that's my job, it's shitty, that's why I never talk about it. Okay, next question is from John Scott. What has been your favorite game that you've done on your channel? Okay. So, if you mean the favorite game that I've done in the sense that it wasn't my favorite playthrough, perhaps, but just my favorite game in general, I would say probably Dark Souls 1, but I'm not a fan of my Dark Souls 1 playthroughs because they're very old and my commentary style is completely different. I find myself kind of annoying in those videos. A lot of people love them, and that's fine, but for me personally... Sorry, I'm watching the footage in the background. I backstepped off the side there. That was completely unintentional. But yeah, anyway, so that's my favorite game that I've done. And by the way, I should probably point out, I'm not going to include games that I haven't finished yet. Bloodborne's amazing, Wind Waker HD is amazing, as is, whatever the hell else I'm playing, but they're not done yet, so I can't very well say, oh, this is my favorite game, because it could turn shitty, before the end. Anyway, as far as my favorite playthrough goes, I would say maybe, probably either Demon's Souls or Dark Souls 2, or, what, I had another one in mind, son of a bitch, Twilight Princess. I think, again, the Bloodborne playthrough is up there as one of my favorites so far, but again, it's not finished yet, as is the Wind Waker HD one. But again, I can't say that because they could turn shitty before the end. Okay, next question is from Dylan Box Phoenix Deppy. Deepy, I don't know. He says, what is the worst game you've played ever? Final Fantasy 13. And I genuinely mean that. Don't get me wrong. As someone who used to love Final Fantasy games, it's partly sour grapes, you know? The game was not what I expected, so a lot of my opinion on that game is because I was disappointed as a fan of the previous games. But I also genuinely think, like, I mean, I don't go out of my way to play bad games, put it that way, so I can't be like, oh, like, you know, X Simulator 2012 or whatever, because I don't play those games. So yeah, that's probably genuinely the worst game I've played. Certainly the worst one I've played that I thought was actually going to be good, and I really didn't like it. I know some people do, I hate that game, I really do. Okay, next question is from Ben Walker. It says, my question is, what age are you, and are you in a relationship? I'm 28. I know I'm not in a relationship right now. We broke up like 4 months ago or something like that. And we'll just leave it there. Next question is, that's not a question. Son of a bitch. I'm not going to edit out like me looking through this, because that'll take even longer. This question's from Tai Bei, B-E-Y. Again, I don't know how to pronounce half these names. Two of the interwebs age-old questions, waffles or pancakes, and ninjas or pirates. Which do you prefer? Okay, let me just start with waffles and pancakes. They are a thing in this country, but they're not really a huge thing like they are in America, and, you know, possibly some other parts of the world. I mean, pancakes are one of those things, in this country at least, you know, generally speaking, most people only eat on Pancake Day. I don't even know if that's a thing around the rest of the world, but we have like a thing called Pancake Day. It's some kind of a religious thing. Aren't they all? But yeah, I haven't eaten pancakes for probably about 15 years, maybe more, something like that. So yeah, they're okay, not a huge fan of them, I guess, therefore I would pick waffles. But also, don't really eat those either. And ninjas or pirates? Come on man, pirates! I mean, ninjas are fine, but how can you not like pirates? They're the shits! Okay, so, and by the way, I should also point out, he mentions, also I agree with the ones who say please don't do a face cam, I too love the mystery. Stay mysterious, Mr. Anderson. Stay mysterious. He got a lot of thumbs up on that, so I thought I'd just point that out, because the community is very split. A lot of people want a face cam, a lot of people don't. So, I'll cover the face cam thing probably somewhere towards the end, because as you might imagine, there's a lot of questions about that. Next question is from Dragon Slayer Milan. If you had to choose a character from any Souls game, not Bloodborne, who would you be? You would live in that Souls world, not real life. Okay, it's got a bunch of questions, let's just answer that one first of all. Who would I be? I guess I'm gonna cheat and just say my character, the Chosen Undead, which, that's a legit answer, because he's like the only one that doesn't have a very sad ending. You know, if you go with a Dark Lord ending, then you're a badass. I guess if I had to pick a legit character, probably Marvelous Chester, because also he doesn't, at least as far as we know, he doesn't have a sad ending, except when I murdered him. But I guess that's not technically canon. So yeah, I guess Marvelous Chester. He's also very mysterious. If you had to choose between 3 people from video games, TV, or real life to be your zombie apocalypse survival party, who would it be, and what would you have them do so you would survive the apocalypse? Bill Murray, and no, that's not just because he was in that, Zombieland, was it? I think it was Zombieland he's in, just because I fucking love Bill Murray. Will Smith, and did you say 3 people? Who was the hell that? Was it? Yeah, 3 people. Bill Murray, Will Smith. Who would the other one be? It's a damn fine question. Probably David Boreanaz, just because I loved him in Angel. And, again, I don't think they would be great in an apocalypse. They would at least entertain me, so we'll put it that way. And that's what I would have them do. I'd have them entertain me. And I'd whip them when they did it. He also said, these are some dark questions. If you had to pick an apocalypse to end to bring down the human race, what would it be? Let's go with the Plague of Locusts, just because I think that would be the easiest for mankind to fend off. Though, then again, I don't know, maybe 10,000 locusts trying to eat your face off is, like, the worst way to go. But that's what I would pick. Will you return to Dark Souls PvP? Reality is probably not. The reason for that is because I've tried recording Dark Souls PvP as recently as a few weeks ago. And I got a few invasions, but holy shit, man. Hours, and I do mean hours of just sitting there clicking the orb. I had to, like, watch videos. I was like watching freaking movies while sitting there clicking this fucking orb, because there was nothing happening. So yeah, like, it's just too difficult to get... God, I can't speak today. Good job I'm doing this video. it's just too difficult to get actual invasions. Like, you get a couple, and even then when you get them, here's the thing about my old PvP videos. They may have been, you know, like 15-20 minutes long. They took hours upon hours upon hours, and I do mean hours to make, every single one of them. I just don't have that time. Plus, like I say, even if I did, invasions are even rarer now. So, yeah, I used to cut out so many invasions, because it was just someone, like, circling around with their shield up, and it was boring, or, you know, they would just circle straight in for a backstab. Like, so many of them are so crap. So even when you get an invasion, there is absolutely no guarantee that it's going to be interesting in any way, shape, or form. Here's the last question. What happened to your voice in comparison to the olden days when you played Dark Souls 1? Your voice significantly changed. Okay, the reason my voice significantly changed is because several reasons. The biggest one really is that I guess I was kind of... Well, for a start, I was high as shit on caffeine. And that's not me kidding, it's not like a joke I make, like, I was perpetually high as fuck on caffeine when I used to record back in them days. So that's why I sound off the wall insane, because I was high as shit. Caffeine is a drug, whether people consider it one or not. It's a drug. It's the most commonly used drug on earth, probably more so than alcohol and cigarettes, I would imagine, and weed. So yeah, caffeine, man, hell of a drug. Plus I'm older now, and I guess I've learned to use my voice better. Would be really the way I would describe that. I have better control over my voice. And next question is not really a question. Oh, he does have a question, but I'm going to point this out as well. He also has a whole bunch of thumbs up. Don't do a face cam, please. Don't ruin your image in my head. Let me keep just that one thing. Actual question, why did you start your YouTube channel? Okay, the reason I started the YouTube channel is because I've always loved video games. This is not a secret. Everyone that freaking knows me in real life knows it is my passion. It always has been. It's not my only passion, but it's definitely the biggest one. And ever since I was a kid, it's always been a thing that's... People either watch me play video games, or I watched them, or, you know, we went to school and we talked about our experiences. Like, I remember going to school when Final Fantasy IX came out, and, you know, we would talk about, like, how long did it take you to beat this boss, and did you die, and, you know, what have you found, and secrets and stuff like that. It's very cool. So I wanted to share that experience. I saw other people doing it, people that I considered to be quite bad at the time. Don't get me wrong, YouTube is much more difficult than it seems, and I very quickly found that out. But at the time I was like, well, if this motherfucker can do it, so can I. And it's always been something I wanted to do, so yeah. But, again, it's way harder than it looks. Okay, I think we're at like 12 minutes already, and, pretty sure we've only covered like 5 questions, so let's try and speed this up a little bit. This question is from Parity S. What other YouTubers do you watch? What do you like to do in your free time besides video games? Besides, you know, actually spending time with friends, though often we play video games when we're doing that. I like watching pro wrestling as well as MMA. MMA much less than pro wrestling, but yeah, I guess those are my other passions really. And I did karate for I think 7 years, but that was a long time ago now. I actually got to the rank right below black belts, and I was very close to being... I could take my black belt test exam thingy, and I just... Honestly, I got to the point where I was like, there's no points. Besides the fact that, like, it legally means, like, your fists are registered as lethal weapons and all kinds of shit like that, and that you can turn around and say, hey, I've got a black belt, which is kind of cool. I just didn't want to go through all of the trouble and time and effort, because at the end of the day, I was like, I'm not going to be any better than I am now. It's just a test. And, yeah, there was a lot of people that I saw that had black belts that couldn't fight for shit, basically, so I was like, what's the point, really? Okay, Yaroslav Zakharov says, how did you get to know Dark Souls? Oh, wait a minute, I missed part of your question, didn't I? Yeah, what other YouTubers do you watch? As far as... You know what, let me just actually check my freaking subscriptions list here. I watch... Let's go from the top to the bottom. Northern Lion on occasion, Epic Name Bro on occasion, a guy called Alex Diner, D-I-E-N-E-R, he's also known as Themsor He's got like a little over 1,000 subscribers. His videos are probably not the sort of thing you'd expect that I would enjoy, because they're like 45 plus minutes long. He's got a very calm, very soothing voice. He's like kind of completely the opposite to me, really. But yeah, I don't know, I kind of dig that sort of thing, so yeah. I watch him as well, and he may just stay entertaining despite that. I don't know, it's like a very mature gaming channel that, I don't know, I enjoy it. And those are about the only ones, really. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. Oh, thank you, yeah. We'll go with that. And anyway. Yaroslav Zakharov says, how did you get to know Dark Souls from the very first day? The first time I actually ever heard of Dark Souls was on a video by... Oh, that's right, I also watched Total Biscuit and Jim Sterling. It was on a video by Total Biscuit. And it was like an E3 preview or some kind of gaming event, where FromSoft were previewing Dark Souls. And I'm sure the video is probably still on his channel, though I tried to find it the other day because I saw this question and I was like, oh, I wonder what video that was. I can't find the video. But yeah, it was like a preview thing, and I remember that he was on the bridge with a Hellcat Drake and couldn't figure out how to get past it, because, you know, it's a big deal when you start that game. If you don't know what you're doing, that thing can mess you up. See, it was I saw him trying to get past the Hellcat Drake. Then I saw a bit later on, and it was like, where you walk out and you find the first Border Knights, where you go out and there's like the dude on the right of you with the spear and the shield, and the Border Knights coming at you on the left. So I saw those two parts and I was like, this looks cool as shit. So that's the first place I ever heard of Dark Souls. This question is from The Feeble Sheep. Do you prefer playing modded Oblivion or modded Skyrim, and why? Oblivion. Just because, really, it's got more mods, better mods, more interesting quest mods and whatnot. Though Skyrim, you know, it's got some good ones. And also because I think the world of Oblivion is just much better. I think, generally speaking, the characters are more interesting. So yeah, modded Oblivion by quite a long way for me. And he also says, what's your favorite original soundtrack of all time? Now, this is actually a very tough question, because nostalgia makes me want to say Final Fantasy VIII. But I think if I'm honest, I think 7 pips it a little tiny bit for me, even though I think 8 also is an amazing soundtrack. Just because 7's got, you know, the Sephiroth theme, like, Sephiroth, Sephiroth. It's fucking amazing. I mean, that was a piss poor rendition of it, but still, it's amazing. It's got the awesome boss battle music, you know, like I can't do any of that shit, but yeah, I think those two tracks kind of push it over the edge for me. So yeah, Final Fantasy VII, 8 in a close second, and probably A Link to the Past in kind of a close third. Though I would say Ocarina of Time's got to be up there as well. You know, basically every Zelda game has an amazing soundtrack, as does pretty much every Final Fantasy game besides that godforsaken 13. Everything about that game was terrible. Okay, moving on. Next question is from Punuri What the bloody hell? One second. Punuri Watorek. I think I said that right. I almost read it as Horek. Okay, my question is, what do you want, truly? Light, dark, or something else entirely? Give us your answer. Let's go with dark. Niao says, Niao space underscore, do you like chocolate? Yeah, it's fine. I'm not like obsessed with it like, you know, some people are. But yeah, it's fine. I have no problem with it. Next question is from Imperfect Tapper. What has been your favorite Let's Play you have ever done? Kind of already answered that. Probably Demon's Souls, Dark Souls 2, and Twilight Princess. YouTube Sucks says, if you could make in a game, what would it be like? Probably... It's a good question. Probably pretty damn similar to Dark Souls 1. Like, I love the why do I always say that word weird? I love the mystery and the mystique. And the way it's very subtle and it's incredibly deep. But the first time you play it, it looks, you know, as shallow as a paddling pool. You're like, well, damn, there was no story here. What the hell's going on? But it's all hidden. It's all between the lines and such. It's kind of amazing. And oh, look at this cheap dragon in the background. Fuck you, dragon. You bastard. Okay, next question is from Rhett Ball Gives You Wings. Will you ever finish Dragon Age Inquisition? Long answer, let's go with the short answer first. That makes sense. Short answer is probably no. Long answer is I tried to record it again, and it was like 30 minutes of me running around. There was some cool shit. Don't get me wrong, again, I do like that game, but there's just so much filler. So much filler. And the filler kind of ruins it for me. I would rather the game was like a third of the length, literally, like a third of the length, and just cut out 2/3 of the crap. Because there really is that much crap in that game. The rest of it's great, but it's just so much shit. There really is. So yeah, probably not. This question is from Zelkaja Ukronos. What do you think of the world of Bloodborne? I think it's awesome. Again, I don't want to shit on Dark Souls 2. Too many people do that, but the level design is awful in Dark Souls 2. I still think it's a very fun game, but the level design is terrible. So therefore, the world design, for the most part, is pretty damn terrible. In my opinion. Though some people have differing opinions on that, and that's fine. But yeah, Bloodborne so far, incredibly good world design. Like, I love the way everything connects and doubles back on itself, and it feels like it all fits together. And yet it's not all the same. It's a little bit, it lacks a bit of color, I guess, but I don't know, it's kind of the theme of the game. So yeah, so far I love that game. Really good world design. This question is from Super Neon Man Guy. He says, how old are you? We already answered that. What's your favorite game of all time? Let's go with kind of a tie between Final Fantasy VIII and Red Dead Redemption. 7's got to be up there. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Dark Souls 1. Probably Twilight Princess as well, and A Link to the Past. Again, I'm not going to include anything I haven't finished yet. He also said, which one do you like more so far? Wind Waker or Twilight Princess? Twilight Princess so far, but don't get me wrong, I would say Wind Waker is very close, but I think Twilight Princess pretty much to me feels like a slightly more refined Wind Waker. But there's also some big differences, like the sailing around and whatever. Yeah, I love them both. And, okay, let me show the rest of the comments. Will you ever play Mass Effects? This is from Red Bull Gives You Wings, or any other series that you haven't played yet. Will I play another series I haven't played yet? Absolutely. Will I ever play Mass Effects? Quite possibly. I tried. Let me just start by saying, sci-fi is really not my thing, but I hear a lot of good things about Mass Effect. I did actually start to try and record Mass Effect 1 on the PC, and I don't know, man, like, the game was running perfectly fine, as you might imagine. I have a decent PC, and it's an old game. But my recording software, every time I started to record, the frame rate was, like, really chuggy and weird, and yeah, I don't know. So I can probably fix it now because I have different recording software, but yeah, at the time, that was what stopped me from doing that. So at some point, I did intend to do that. So yes, long story short, I might do that at some point in the future. Next question is from Bubble Pop. What's your favorite movie, band, song, game, and TV show? Okay, favorite movie, kind of hard for me to decide, so let's go with it's kind of a tie between The Matrix 1, let me make that very clear, 1, not 2 or 3, those ones suck, and Evil Dead 2, and maybe also Army of Darkness. I also love Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, though those movies are terrible, but that's why I love them, so yeah, we'll go with that. What's your favorite band? Really don't have a favorite band. When I was a kid, it used to be Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit. I absolutely hate Limp Bizkit now. I still like some of their songs, but in kind of an ironic, I know this is shit, but I still enjoy it for some reason, kind of a way. My favorite artist? I don't know. I really don't know. It's weird. As far as like bands and artists go, I often like one or two things that they do, but kind of hate the rest. Like Ed Sheeran. I love his song I See Fire, which was the ending credit song for The Desolation of Smog. That song's amazing, and yet, as good as Ed Sheeran is, and don't get me wrong, I know that he's good, none of his other music really appeals to me that I've heard so far anyway. So yeah, that's just one example. I often like one or two things by a particular artist or band, but yeah, so yeah, I really don't have a favorite. What's your favorite song? That's a good question. Probably Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. Bon Jovi, let's go with Bon Jovi as my favorite artist. Is that a band? Not really. Although he does have people playing music, so we'll go with Bon Jovi. Favorite game? Kind of already covered that, and by kind of, I mean we did. TV show. Let's go with Angel and Buffy. I would say Buffy the Vampire Slayer by a little bit. And I would say probably Hannibal has to be up there as well, even though they only have 2 seasons of Hannibal so far. A third one's going to be coming fairly soon, apparently. So I'm looking forward to that. And I would say probably the first 4 seasons of Dexter. Good kind of shit after that. Okay, next question is from Eric. And he says, aside from YouTube, which is the obvious one, what would your dream job be? If I couldn't work in YouTube doing gaming, I would probably want to be a game designer. Though that requires a lot of training and skill and whatnot. And what was your life in school like? That's a deep, long story. Let's just say, basically when I was a kid I got bullied relentlessly, which is why I started doing karate in the first place. Because, you know, my parents thought it was a good idea, like, to defend yourself against terrible bullies. Except really, you don't really usually need to beat up bullies. Just, you know, tell them to fuck off and they'll be like, whoa, okay, I didn't see that one coming. Because often bullies can't take anything whatsoever. Like, if they get confronted, they often, you know, just recede into their shells. Not all of the time, but yeah, generally speaking. They're usually pussies, and that's why they do it. So yeah, got bullied a lot when I was a kid, went to karate, did karate for years, and then I got known as being the tough kid in school. Believe it or not. You may not realize with a voice like this, but yeah, so it's a very long, very deep, complicated story. And, oh god, there's so many replies to his question. Jesus Christ. Okay, let me just quickly go through these to make sure none of these are questions. No, not really. Okay, and Ricky Cohen says, what's your favorite football team and or player? Well, you might think as an Englishman I actually like football, because that's just an assumption that, like, everybody makes. For example, let me just say, I don't. I really don't watch football, even the World Cups, because, you know, England suck and they never win, so I just don't even bother watching, because it's disappointing. See, I have no answer to that, because I just couldn't care less about football, unfortunately. But hey, you know, people like it, I don't have a problem with that, but it just ain't for me. But yeah, like, if I get in a cab or something, or a taxi to the rest of the world, if I get one of those, you would be surprised how many times, if there's been like a major England football match the night before or something, like, oh, so did you see the game? And can you believe, you know, like, Arsenal scored on West Ham 4-0 or something? I'm like, oh, no, can't believe it, yeah. So I just pretend that I care just to, you know, appease the cab driver. Because it's easier than me going, you know, actually, I couldn't give a shit. So yeah, really don't have any interest in football, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on your opinion. And next question is from Finian McManus. I wonder if you're Irish. Maybe not, kind of sounds like an Irish name to me. What is your day job? We already covered that. If you could wish for a sequel to any other game, what would it be? Okay. Now, it's kind of a weird one, because I would say Final Fantasy X, but there was a sequel to that. So I guess this is kind of like me cheating, but I would love a prequel to it, where you play as, you know, Braska, Jet, and Auron. That would be amazing. Like, you get flashbacks through the little orbs about, like, you know, the history of those characters. Actually being able to play their story, I think that would be amazing. But yeah, that would be a prequel. So an actual sequel, I guess I would go with Demon Souls. Okay, next question is from Yusuf Delimi? I can't pronounce these names, man. Do you have a girlfriend? We covered that. What's your job? We covered that. And how do you keep making so much effort into your videos? Because it appears you put a lot of effort in. I guess because I'm motivated to do it because I know people watch. It's like, yeah, I get, you know, put it this way, I get sort of between several hundred and a couple of thousand views per video. Now, if you compare that to the people that are pulling millions or hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands, it's a small number. But the way I look at it, it's still hundreds, sometimes thousands of people. That's still a lot of people that, you know, enjoy watching and partaking in your content. So yeah, I guess basically because I'm motivated to do it because people still watch. So there you go. Slowest Bro says, I've been subject to blah blah blah. How do you find time to do videos since you clearly put much effort in? How do I find time? It's difficult. But again, it's really just because I work part-time. If I didn't, it would be very hard to do. But as it is, I make the time. Though it is very time-consuming. Okay, and Apo Coco says, did I say that right? I think so. Have you planned on doing anything else with the community, like for example live streams, fan meetups, playing games online with us, viewers, etc.? Are you going to do any gaming expos at any point? Kind of covered the expo things, like it's not something I do, but I'm not opposed to it, it's just kind of costly and time-consuming, so yeah. And, do I plan on doing anything else with the community? Yes, I do want to start live streaming hopefully fairly soon, like within a couple of months. There's some things I have to get sorted out before then, but when I do, yeah, I do plan on doing that. Though, will it be online games? Probably not, because, I don't know, it's more likely I'll do something like, you know, Bloodborne or whatever, and I'll invite people to invade me, or, you know, co-op with me and whatnot. Something like that. Maybe not Bloodborne specifically, but, you know, something along those lines. Next question is from Andrew M. He says, will you ever play another Pokemon game on the channel, or is Nintendo being too dickish about their games on YouTube? Frankly, they are being dickish as hell. You may remember I did a channel update a couple of months ago now, maybe less than that, and there was like some Mario Kart 8 footage in the background. They claimed copyright on that, which frankly blew my mind. And I can only assume that was because, like, before you actually start, because here's the way it works. They can't match copyrights on actual gameplay. They can only do it on a cutscene. And that's what it was. Because the reason they can't match it on the gameplay is because it's too divergent. It has to have, like, an exact match in the system. So they'll enter their cutscenes in the system, and that's how they get the matches. Same with, you know, any other company. So what I think they did is, before you start a race on Mario Kart, it gives you, like, a quick camera overview of the map, like the race course. So I think they put that camera view into the system. So I think that's how they're matching the contents. So yeah, long story short, yeah, they're kind of like ridiculously over the top. About a quarter of my Wind Waker HD videos have been matched for copyright contents, which isn't a problem, it just means I don't get ad revenue from them. Which, you know, I'm playing the game anyway. Yes, it sucks. No, I don't like them doing it. No, I don't agree with it, but for now I'm just kind of living with it, you know? Because it ain't all about the money. But yes, they're being kind of dickish as hell right now, though I think, you know, the older games, they very rarely match stuff on. So yeah, an older Pokemon game is not out of the question, and also the custom ones, you know, like, I think there's one called Pokemon Uranium, and stuff like that. So yeah, things like that should be fine. So yes, at some point, I may do another Pokemon game, but yes, Nintendo also are giant dicks, and not in the good way. And Ronan Yovich says, how far will you take the Oblivion series? It's what made me start watching you. How far will I take the Oblivion series? Well, I think I've taken it pretty damn far already. I mean, we very nearly finished the main quest. We did tons of the best quest mods. We did a lot of the optional contents. Don't get me wrong, there's still a lot left. And we started the Shivering Isles DLC. And I do want to finish the main quest after we do that. Maybe do Knights of the Night and stuff like that. So yeah, there's still a lot to come, but we've also done a lot. Nezul? Nezuel? I have no idea. Anyway, he says, where's my onion ring? No ring for you. Mark McCauley says, so what is your favorite game you've played through on the channel? Kinda cover that. Dark Souls 1, but not my favorite playthrough. My favorite playthrough again, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, and Twilight Princess. Lee Jennings says, Adolf Hitler, Osama bin Laden, and Saddam Hussein. Shag, marry, kill. Shag, for those of you that don't know, is like having sex with. It's a very English thing. So it's something I think I've ever said in my life. Okay, so, this is a tough question. I think I'd have to, you know, assuming they're all alive, because otherwise this don't make much sense. I would say I'd have to kill Hitler, because he probably killed the most people. That would make sense. I would probably marry Saddam Hussein, because I think he was possibly the least evil of the three, though I won't be happy about it. So I guess I would have sex with Osama bin Laden. That's a horrific image. Against an Era says, would you ever do a collab with other YouTubers? Maybe for something like Dark Souls, Bloodborne Challenge Run, etc. Yeah, I ain't against that. A couple of people have contacted me. And I was speaking to a fairly big YouTuber about doing a possible co-op series and something. We didn't really know what. Maybe they'll want to do the Perma Gravelord New Game Plus 7 run of Dark Souls 1 with me. We will see. So yeah, I'm not against it. We might. But the reason I don't do it, and I haven't yet, is because you have to have chemistry. Because all too often I see people join up because they think it's a good idea, and it's awful. Like, they're very, like, shy around each other, I guess. Like, they don't know what to say, what they can't say, which jokes they can make because they don't know how the other person's going to react. So you have to know the person, and you have to have good chemistry. Otherwise, it's shit. So yes. Okay, next question is from Andrew Robertson. If I can get the freaking page to come up, what the hell? Can you discuss more in depth the possibility of a live stream, and what do you think about playing Metro? Either one. I kind of covered the live stream thing already. What do you think about playing Metro? I cannot play Metro 2033. The reason is because I actually tried to play it once, and it made me dizzy as fuck. Because that game has like 60 FOV or something. And yeah, I'm not usually one of those people that actually gets dizzy looking at like a small FOV or whatever. I've played Call of Duty games before on a console where the FOV is tiny. The freaking FOV on that game, man. Yeah, I know you can edit it. You shouldn't have to do that. The FOV on that game actually, like, I think I only played for about 10 minutes. For a good 10 plus minutes after I stopped playing, I was dizzy as shit. I felt terrible. So yeah, maybe if I can fix the FOV, I might be interested in doing it, but shooters, man, don't really appeal all that much to me. Next question is from Halzors. Whereabouts in the UK are you from? I struggle to place your dialect. Also, what is your job? We already answered the job thing. I've always wanted to try YouTube, but I work full time and I find it hard to find the motivation. Well, yeah, again, motivation, it's one of those things, like, I don't know what prompted me to start it, because when you start, you don't have viewers, and that's what I think a lot of people don't seem to understand. I've seen small channels before where they'll put up, like, 10 videos, and they're like, what the hell, no one's watching. It's because you don't have subscribers yet. You have to, it's one of those things. You have to have subscribers to get views, but you have to get views to get subscribers. It's, you know, a catch-22 situation. So yeah, it takes a, unless you're lucky, or you have people shouting you out or whatnot, or you're exceptionally ridiculously good off the bats, even then, it's going to be very hard to break into, now more so than ever. There's more people doing it than there ever was, and it's going up by the day. So yeah, the motivation, you just kind of have to try and hope for the best. Your motivation should be that you know you are good, or that you at least can become good. So yeah, plus you also have to enjoy it, which I do. I feel like I missed a question. Oh yeah, whereabouts in the UK are you from? from a place called Essex, which a lot of people in England and, you know, the rest of the UK will be well aware of Essex, because it's one of those places that's... There's reality TV shows about this place. And not in the good way. Because, here's the thing. I don't sound like I have an Essex accent, because I don't. And the reason for that is because... Yeah, I used to have a little bit more of one when I started on YouTube, but I, like, intentionally kind of drew back from my accent, because I hate the Essex accent. Like, no offense to anyone who's watching from there, but you can't deny the accent is awful. Like, it sounds terrible. It's like, I'm from Essex! Yeah! Like, who talks like that? Like, what the hell? So yeah, I have intentionally, my entire life, not just since I started YouTube, but that's what, you know, hearing myself back, I was like, oh god, I still kind of sound like I'm from this place. My entire life, I didn't want to sound like I was from here, because hearing people on TV and whatnot that didn't sound like they were from Essex, I was like, oh, there are much better accents in the world. So yeah, I always intentionally try to change my voice a little bit and try and speak a little bit better. Makes me sound kind of stuck up, but, you know, whatever. Okay, next question is from Franz A. Will you play Skyward Sword? Yeah, probably. Will I record it? Don't know. Really depends how bad Nintendo get with the copyrights. I'm kind of just putting up with it for now when it comes to Wind Waker, but yeah, after that, we'll have to see. Okay, Jack Owen, I think I'm saying that, I have no idea, says, how did you pick up that amazing accent if it is not your original, and where in England are you from? Pretty much covered all of that. Like, it's weird. This is just my voice. This is my accent. It's not like it's fake or anything, but it's also not my natural accent. Like, again, when I was growing up, I just intentionally changed the way I talked because I really didn't like the accents from where I was growing up. Simple as that, really. It's almost like elocution lessons that I gave to myself. Next question is from Markin Sayazin-Newski. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. Tea or coffee, milk or no milk? I have not drunk tea since I was probably about 16 or something like that, so, you know, 12 plus years. So yeah, not really a huge fan of tea. Here's the thing, I think it's not bad, it's not really my thing either. There's things I would prefer to drink, so I guess coffee, and I would say probably milk, though I don't really drink either of them or too much. Mark McCauley says, would you do an Ocarina of Time playthrough? Again, yes. Again, same deal with Skyward Sword, it just really depends how bad Nintendo are on the copyright, and the reason I haven't done Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time is because the best versions of them are now on the 3DS. I have a 3DS now, but the thing is, in order to record from one, you have to send it away to get it chipped as, like, custom built, like, a thing custom built in so that you can record from it, and it costs $250. Not for the 3DS, just for the ability to record from it. That's insane. If I was making, you know, major cash from YouTube, then yeah, I wouldn't even give it a second thought. I'd be sure, people want to see me play that, I'll pay that money. But since I'm not, that's a huge amount of cash to pay for the ability to record a few games. So yeah, and again, I don't want to play an inferior older version. Not that I'm shitting on the older version, but it's not the best version now, it's just the way it works. Okay, Thananar Rabbittooth says, will you be returning to Skyrim anytime soon, or ever? Yeah, probably eventually, maybe when we finish Oblivion. I'm not really in a rush to go back to Skyrim though. And yeah, there's a lack of good quest mods for Skyrim that I haven't already played. See, that's also another major factor. And no, I'm not doing a vanilla playthrough of that game, it has been done to death just like Minecraft. Ain't doing it. He also said, a friend of mine asked me to ask you to say banana. Well, there you go. TF2 Spypa says, how did you get interested in video games? Okay, how I got interested in video games was when I was a kid. I was growing up, and my brother, who's significantly older than me, put it this way, he's old enough to be my father. Long story, let's not go into it. He was playing, he works in computers now, I don't know what the hell he does. I have no idea. He works in computers. So at the time, he was one of the few people that, at the time, had an actual gaming PC, and he had Wolfenstein 3D. I think that came out in like 1992, so I was probably only about 6 years old, maybe 7, something like that when I was playing that game. So yeah, I played Wolfenstein 3D on his PC, loved that game. Amazing at the time. Like, I remember the little head of your character down the bottom, and like the more you got beaten up, the more his eyes and whatever got bloody, and then there was like some kind of a god mode where he had red eyes or something. It was kind of awesome. And yeah, I think I actually beat that game, because I remember the, spoilers here, I remember the final boss, I think it was Hitler or something, and he had like double Gatling guns. So yeah, that was what initially got me hooked on video games. Okay, Nightblade says, will you ever do a face cam? Yes, probably eventually. It's not something I'm against exactly. Like, I have no problem showing my face, though, again, some people love the mystery, and I don't want to ruin that for them. But equally, I understand that some people that hate the mystery, they're like, I will see you, I want to know what you look like. I get that. But yeah, as far as doing it, like, in video games where every single time I play something, I've got my face in the corner, I'm like, hey, look at me, I'm pulling silly faces and shit. I ain't gonna be doing that. I think it's shitty, I don't like it, I don't think there's any point to it, I think it appeals to children, generally speaking. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the face cam thing for playing video games. I think it's distracting and pointless. I have never watched someone play a video game and thought, you know, I really want to see their face right now. Even when it's a horror game. The voice is enough for me. So yeah, if someone has a face cam, I never look at it. It just takes up real estate on the screen. So yeah, that's my opinion. I'm going to skip over a lot of the joke questions. I hope people don't mind that, because there's a lot here. Smushy Mushy says, where in the UK do you live? We already said that. And can I do some co-op with you? Sure, again, yeah, people feel free to add me on PS4, or, you know, I'm not going to add everyone on Steam. I don't know why I'm a little bit more protective of my my PC, but yeah, people can add me on PS4, I really don't mind. So yeah, if people want to do co-op, and I'm actually doing co-op at the time and you're online, I'll probably invite you. Okay, Ori Yo-Yo says, which of the original Dark Souls lords is your favorite? Okay, well that depends if you mean the bosses in the game, or if you mean the actual original 4, you know, Lord Soul owners. If I go in for the 4 Lord Soul owners, it's got to be the Furtive Pygmy, right? Just because it's the most interesting. Like, who is it? Is it Manus? And what is the Dark Soul? So many questions. So yeah, we'll go with the Furtive Pygmy for that. As far as bosses, it's got to be Gwyn, and then Seath in probably a close second. Not so much for the boss fights, though I think they're both just fine. You know, some people think they're shitty, I don't. I think they're just fine. I think they're better than Nito, and certainly the better of Chaos. So yeah, we'll go with that, and I also think they have the most interesting lore behind them, again, besides the Furtive Pygmy. Delsus75 says, what's your favorite wrestler of all time and favorite match of all time? My favorite wrestler of all time is probably Chris Jericho, with Shawn Michaels in a close second. And my favorite match of all time, and this should come as no surprise, is Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 17. Here's the thing, if you don't understand why people like pro wrestling, because you're like, oh, it's all fake, how can you like it? Watch that match. Should be able to find it on YouTube, trust me. What it will basically show you is why I love pro wrestling. And it's two people with tons of personality and character, being entertaining as hell and being extremely good at wrestling at the same time. Wrestling is basically an art form, really, like doing it properly, you know, pulling off impressive moves, not fucking things up, having a good flow and whatnot, and then being, you know, an entertainer on top of that. I would liken it to, you know, who is your favorite YouTuber? Who do you find the most entertaining? Who is the most charismatic? It's about the cult of personality. That's why people like pro wrestlers. I mean, Jesus, cult of personality was CM Punk's freaking theme. That's what it's about. It's about the cult of personality. Okay, Nutshell2K says, what motivates you to play video games and make videos on them? Man, that was a mouthful for some damn reason. Well, I enjoy playing video games. That's why I play them. Even if I wasn't recording them, I would be playing them anyway. What motivates me to record, edit, upload, all that shit? Again, I kind of covered this earlier. Just the fact that people watch. What motivated me to start it when no one was watching? I don't know. Again, probably just the fact that I saw other people doing it. I wanted to do it. I thought I could do it. Got there in the end, kind of. Okay, next question is from Braden Watts. Bray Wyatt. Who's your favorite Dark Souls character and why? A lot of people gotta say Solaire. I'm gonna go with Onion Bro. Because, you know, he's a jovial, nice guy that kind of sucks and you have to help him. I think he's got the most interesting story. He's got some, you know, funky looking armor. I really think he has the best story in the game. I prefer him to Solaire, so I would say him, Solaire, maybe in second, Marvelous Chester around the second mark as well. So, you know, Onion Bro, Solaire, Chester, somewhere around there. Okay, next question is from HDark14. Would you have the bravery to go to an airport and praise the sun, gesture, and sing out loud? Sure? I mean, it depends if you mean like an airport waiting room or something, because if there's just a bunch of people bored sitting there and you stood up in front of them all and did it, I can imagine that would be quite embarrassing. But just doing it in an airport, it's probably going to be so busy that no one, well, probably like 2 or 3 people might notice, give you kind of a funny look and carry on going. So yeah, why the hell not? I mean, you probably have to pay me, I wouldn't do that willingly. It's just insane. Mitchell Garman says, favorite game? Achievements 1 is going to be asked a lot. To add on to that, what is your favorite innovative mechanic in a game? Whether it was your favorite or not. Gonna have to think about the second part. We already covered the first parts. Hey, how's it going? So the video ended up being like an hour and 35 minutes long, so I guess I'm gonna split part 1 here and I'll upload part 2 tomorrow. Either way, they're gonna be long as shit. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.